gravel and dirt, and there was flooding back there.
Local businesses speak out on North Campus construction.
Terrifying. Ebola hits close to home.
And the Buckeyes take on Rutgers for the homecoming game.
That's all right here on Buckeye News Now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rithika Shah.
And I'm Ariana Bernard. You're watching Buckeye News Now. The Central Ohio mumps outbreak has officially been declared over by Columbus Public Health, but Ebola is now on Ohio's radar. The deadly virus that has taken many lives in West Africa now hits close to home. Amber Vinson, the second nurse who contracted the virus from a patient she was treating, flew out of Cleveland Hopkins International Airport to Dallas this Monday. Lantern Assistant Multimedia Editor Khalid Mualim spoke with officials on how Columbus will prepare for a potential Ebola outbreak.
The deadly virus Ebola has taken over 4,000 lives in West Africa so far. On Tuesday morning, reports of the 6th American tested positive for Ebola. The latest Ebola patient, now in Dallas, was on a flight from Cleveland the day before the symptoms was reported. Some students on the Ohio State campus say they are frightened of a potential outbreak in Columbus.
Terrifying. I think that it would be scary to anyone. Basically, I was thinking about this the other day when I was driving in my car. If you get it, you die. There's not really a cure.
Other students, on the other hand, are not so afraid.
Just based on the symptoms, I'm not too scared. I feel like if anything were to come close to the university, that they would act on it and not let the students be exposed.
The Columbus Public Health sent out emails of what Ebola is and to assure people that Columbus is preparing.
When you get infected with the Ebola virus, it may take between 2 days and 21 days to start developing the symptom, showing sign of the disease.
Governor John Kasich contacted the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention asking for a CDC official to be placed in Ohio to help with the situation.
The key to control Ebola is to identify people as soon as they start having symptoms, identify everyone who have been in contact with that person, monitoring them. If those people start having symptoms, making sure they don't transmit the disease to new older people, and the disease will die by itself.
Columbus Public Health official Jose Rodriguez told the Lantern that Columbus is being very vigilant, assessing cases daily. Khalid Mualim, Lantern TV.
As part of the university's new streamlined digital security plan, students are now able to keep their Ohio State passwords twice as long as before. The last 90-day reset cycle is currently ongoing, but once students change their passwords, they won't have to do so for another 180 days before another change is required. The new streamlined security plan doesn't only allow for fewer password changes, but also better protection for Ohio State students and faculty's identities, devices, and institutional data. One group of students makes moves to freeze tuition.
And North Campus businesses speak out about how construction is affecting their sales.
Stay with us.
STEP students are given up to $2,000 by the university to complete projects in order to enhance their undergrad experience. The first STEP Expo was held at the Ohio Union on Tuesday to showcase projects that were completed in May or summer of 2014. Faculty, staff, and students were invited to view how the STEP students engaged in the program through artistic endeavors, community service, study abroad, leadership, internships, and undergraduate research.
It gives them the opportunity for students to reflect a bit and pull it together and summarize their activity, the impact that it had, and the difference that it made on them. It also provides the opportunity to have a public forum where faculty and staff and other students can come and look and see what they've accomplished.
A new student organization at Ohio State is petitioning to pass a 5-year freeze on tuition and fees for both in and out of state students. The Ohio State Board of Trustees has already turned down this idea. The university froze in-state tuition in 2013, which will hold through the 2014-2015 school year. This particular group of students is not giving up, though. However, do students on campus agree with the petition?
I think that the universities are definitely taking advantage of students and charging way too much money for what the student is actually getting in return.
I think that the university is really progressing and growing a lot, and in order for us to keep going in that direction, if they need us to pay more tuition, then that's what we have to do.
Speaking of money matters, North Campus construction is continuing to bring changes to the university, but it's taking a toll on local businesses on High Street. I spoke with some of these companies to get their thoughts on the ramifications that come from the constant construction on the other side of High.
Not only is construction tearing up North Campus, but it is also making a dent in some local business operations on High Street.
They fenced up all our parking. They didn't tell us they were going to do that. Fenced up all our parking, and we basically had zero parking. All our business was dependent on foot traffic, and it made it a lot harder for some of our customers to come here.
With the construction next to us, they were building the building and they tore up the parking lot. So it was a lot of gravel and dirt, and there was flooding back there.
Besides cosmetic issues, some companies are experiencing monetary problems as well.
Although Noodles & Company denied the request to comment on camera, their general manager, Sean King, did provide some statements that stated they are seeing about a 10% reduction in sales compared to what they were seeing from last year.
King specified the decrease in sales translates to almost an 18% downward swing from total revenue expectations. King also stressed that customers have told Noodles employees that driving to the restaurant becomes difficult with only one lane open on Lane Avenue. To compensate for these challenges, Noodles and other businesses on High Street have been working extra hard and have implemented new marketing tactics to increase business during the construction.
Worked a little harder, hustled a little faster, posted a little more on Facebook and Twitter, kicked up our social media, kicked up our marketing.
And we have vans that actually say Mo's on the side of it, Mo's Southwest Grill. And we'll do chip drops, at the fraternities and sororities and, some dorm houses and stuff like that, trying to get the foot traffic to come in that way.
The construction is expected to be completed in the fall of 2016, and some business owners are anxious for that date.
Counting the days down. I can't wait.
All disadvantages aside, the construction is proving to be beneficial, at least for Buckeye Donuts.
The construction workers got wind that we had good food here and we have very good donuts, and they started piling in here in January. And they were giving us quite a bit of business. So that gave us a nice boost.
The university did not wish to comment on how North Campus construction is affecting local businesses on High Street. Reporting for Lantern TV, I'm Ariana Bernard.
Clouds and scattered showers have lingered all week, but Friday might be our last glimpse of summer-like temperatures before we dive into the 50s for the rest of the season.
Don't worry just yet. Our meteorologist John Banghoff tells us that there's plenty of sunshine coming our way this homecoming weekend. John?
Thanks, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist John Banghoff. A beautiful afternoon in store for tomorrow afternoon. This afternoon, not quite as good. 65 degrees. We're going to have mostly cloudy skies, a chance of some scattered showers. No thunderstorm story about this afternoon, but it is going to be a kind of dreary day. Tomorrow, good news, though. We start out about 50 degrees. Your Friday afternoon gets all the way up to 70 degrees. Mostly sunny skies. It's going to be warmer. One last glimpse of summer before we dive into the 50s. I don't expect us to get into the 70s beyond Friday. For your day on Saturday, we drop down to 49 degrees to start off your day, up to 59 by the afternoon. It is going to be a chilly one, though, as Ohio State hosts Rutgers. Winds out of the northwest about 15 miles an hour. If you're sitting up in C-Deck, make sure to bundle up because those winds are going to be howling. For your day on Sunday, we get down to 41 degrees to start, up to 56 for the afternoon, mostly sunny. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon, great chance to get out to the pumpkin patch to enjoy all the things that fall has to offer. Check out some of those leaves. For your day on Monday, 40 degrees is your eventual low in the morning, and then the afternoon we get up to 56. Mostly cloudy. Those clouds will return, and we do have a chance of some PM showers. No thunderstorms to worry about, but again, much cooler weather in store for your weekend. I'm meteorologist John Banghoff. Back to you guys in the studio.
An up-and-coming rapper takes a chance on Ohio State.
And potential new drug policies for Ohio's college athletes.
All that and more up next on Buckeye News Now. Traveling across the Midwest is about to get easier. Plans for a train connecting Columbus and Chicago are moving forward with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. The 300-mile high-speed train would make stops at 9 cities within Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois along the route, making it more convenient for some Ohio State students to travel back home.
Because I live in Chicago and because it's not really worth the money for a flight, I prefer to use Megabus. A train, it would probably make it easier to plan in advance because Megabus, their schedules run kind of sporadically. So a train would maybe have better times to just leave, and then also you could get hopefully better prices because once everything was fleshed out, it could be faster and easier to just get through.
Speaking of the Windy City, Chicago-based hip-hop artist Chance the Rapper will be headlining a concert presented by OUAB on October 27th at the LC Pavilion. Chance is coming off the critical and commercial hit mixtape Acid Rap and had students lined up around the Union on Wednesday for a chance to get a ticket to the show.
I was looking on Facebook and I saw someone who said I'll give someone $10 if they'll stand in line for Chance tickets, and I immediately went to OUAB, checked to see if they were selling Chance the Rapper tickets, and then that's how I found out that they were. I got here at 2:30 and I prepared to be here till 5 o'clock until they start releasing the tickets.
And I was here since 2 o'clock, I guess. I prepared to be here until how long it takes to get the tickets. I've been a fan for 3 years now. I was just on live mixtapes, and he just came up, so I gave him a listen to, and I've been a fan ever since.
While Ohio State students await Chance's performance, the marching band continues to entertain crowds of football fans in the shoe. The latest marching band investigation is still ongoing, however. The Ohio State University is paying nearly $900 per hour for work on the second investigation into the band's culture following the firing of former director Jonathan Waters. The university is paying the Los Angeles-based David Vaughn Consulting Group $460 an hour plus $288 an hour while Vaughn is traveling. Travel costs include meals and internet fees and are also paid by the university with no maximum budget. Ohio State is paying the Washington, D.C. area Arndt law firm $425 an hour with a $49,000 cap. Both groups were hired as part of an investigative task force led by former Ohio Attorney General Betty Montgomery. As part of the investigation, Ernst & Young has also been hired to collect data and measure change in the marching band. A fourth firm involved in this investigation has yet to be determined.
Soon, athletes at Ohio's public and private colleges could face mandatory drug testing under proposed legislation in Ohio's House of Representatives. Under the newly proposed bill, athletes caught using illegal drugs or steroids would be required to complete an on-campus drug treatment program offered by the school. Repeat offenders would face game suspensions or even a loss of financial aid or dismissal from the team. The mandatory drug testing would be conducted during annual physicals and especially before championship games. If the bill passes, this would make Ohio the first state in the nation to require drug testing and offer penalties for college athletes caught using banned substances. This bill exempts alcohol use.
They're asking for every student athlete to be tested twice a year and for all banned substances. So that's going to pull in street drugs, and it's also going to pull in steroids. So for us, the estimate, and we'll give an estimate of 1,000 student athletes twice a year to run tests for both those banned panels would cost us about $216,000.
After taking on Big Ten newcomers in the Maryland Terrapins a couple weekends ago, Ohio State football faces another fresh opponent for the homecoming game this weekend. Our assistant sports director, Yerian, has more on what head coach Urban Meyer has to say on facing the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this Saturday.
It's homecoming week at Ohio State, and as the Buckeyes look to welcome the Scarlet Knights to the shoe, the defense answers questions on how they'll contain Rutgers quarterback Gary Nova.
The last 3 games, they're jumped out early. They're coming out of the locker room ready to play, and that sets the tempo for the game. We started getting that reputation last year, and obviously early this year we did not have it in the first 2 games. So that's going to be a huge emphasis again this week. If you remember the first half against Maryland, we held them to 100 and some yards, well below their average, and then we gave up a couple. So we're going to be very aggressive, and you got to get this quarterback down because he's playing the best he's ever played right now.
I think they run the ball pretty well. They got a really big front. Their left tackle, I know, is a giant. So I think they run the ball. They're going to be some big bodies, so we have to play, make them stop running the ball. We have to stop the run early so they can drop back pass. Just the style of offense is run the ball and drop back and stuff like that rather than quick outs and all these different quick passes in 2.5 seconds. So if we are able to stop that run early, then we'll have chances to go get the quarterback, and this should be a fun night.
Well, the one thing we're focusing on as a secondary is just making sure we just not give up the big play. You know what I mean? Like, they got great receivers who can take the top off of defenses. So one thing we're just making sure to eliminate the deep balls and make sure, we keep Gary Nova in the pocket and make sure he doesn't scramble and beat us like that.
The bye weeks are all over. Saturday's kickoff is scheduled for 3:30, and until next time, for Lantern TV, I'm Yerian.
That's all we have for you this week on Buckeye News Now.
Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week.